Stetson Kennedy's shocking expose of the secret doings of the Klan sparked an outraged public reaction, prompting authorities to act upon and reform the civil rights system in the aftermath of World War II. World War II was a war against Adolf Hitler, the self-proclaimed supreme leader of Germany and his National Socialist Party. America was reluctant to get embroiled into the conflict, having lost many men in the previous World War. Congress passed the Neutrality Act in 1937 so that the United States could not trade with belligerents. However, President Roosevelt was eager to be involved, but he could not muster up enough public support. Pearl Harbor took care of that problem, and the United States declared war on December 8, 1941. More than 500,000 African Americans served in Europe, but they fought in segregated forces and usually held lesser positions like cleaning or service. In 1941, the government designed an experiment by setting up an all-black combat unit to see if African American soldiers could perform as well as white ones. Tuskegee Airmen were created. But even so, when African Americans returned from war, their doubts about the war being hypocritical increased. Why did they have to fight for the freedom of other religions and races when they weren't allowed freedom at home? Many returning veterans were killed, courtesy of the Ku Klux Klan. While the Ku Klux Klan began as a benevolent print club for bored Confederate soldiers after the Civil War, it eventually evolved into a complex and widespread organization that fed on hate and racial bias, committing immoral crimes against Negroes that went unchallenged by the majority of the public. Stetson Kennedy was one of the few that decided to take drastic action against these hate-mongers.
And after the end of World War II, he decided to do something about it.
And so his great idea was to go undercover in the Ku Klux Klan.
Once I got in, it was obvious to me that I couldn't go to the police, because at the very first meeting I could see the police uniforms, blue pants sticking out beneath the Klan robes, and a great many khaki trousers of the sheriff's deputies. So I went to the FBI, and sure enough, at the next Klan meeting, the Grand Dragon Samuel Green got up and said, had a little call from the FBI last week, said, warning me that we've been infiltrated. Said, you can't ask for better cooperation than that.
In order to fight the threats and intimidation from the KKK, Stetson Kennedy raised public awareness by going to the radio and providing radio broadcasters with secret Klan information.
Pearson had a weekly radio broadcast coast to coast. So I made a deal with Pearson to broadcast minutes of the Klan's last meeting every Sunday afternoon. We broadcast the names of judges and policemen and businessmen, politicians, all sorts of people who had attended the last meeting of the Klan. So the minute we did that, they never showed up again. And recruitment dropped. And best of all, violence came to a stop.
Kennedy also took his information to the scriptwriters of Superman. Having had no popular villains for Superman to fight since World War II, they jumped on the idea, and thus the new series, The Clan of the Fiery Cross, was created.
Yeah, at the first Klan meeting he went to after the show hit the air, the Grand Dragon, who was the leader of the local group, he's trying to run the meeting, and then one just regular rank-and-file Klansman gets up and starts shouting. He said, I came home from work the other night, and my kid and all these other kids had these towels tied around their necks like capes, and some of them had pillowcases over their heads, and the ones with the capes were chasing the ones with pillowcases. And when I asked them what they were doing, they said they were playing this new game of cops and robbers called Superman Against the Klan. I never felt so ridiculous in all my life. Suppose my own kid finds my Klan robe someday.
While Superman doesn't actually exist, his influence on the real world extends far beyond the radio show and the comic books. In the Superman vs. the KKK affair, Stetson Kennedy became the fictional Superman, and Superman became the real-life Stetson Kennedy. The Clan of the Fiery Cross is definitely that radio show's finest hour, and Superman's.
Is it possible that you really believe all that stuff about getting rid of the foreigners? That one race, one religion, one color hokum?
Hokum? Why, it's the absolute truth. We've got to save America from foreign elements.
Well, I'll be... I thought you had brains, Riggs. But you become drunk on the slop we put up for the suckers.
Suckers? Who are you calling?
Our members, Riggs. The poor fish who want to hate and blame somebody else for their failures in life. The saps who believe drivel such as a man is a dangerous enemy because he goes to a different church. The little nobodies who want to believe some of the race is inferior so they can feel superior. The jerks who go for that 100% American rot.
Rot? You mean you don't believe?
Of course not. You must know there is no such thing as what we call 100% American.
Eventually, Stetson revealed himself. Expelled from the Klan, he toured around the country giving talks about his experiences and urging others to take action against this abomination.
Klan membership rolls grew, so did its political power. In the national arena, the Klan helped to elect 16 United States senators, 5 of whom were sworn Klan members. One of the 5, Hugo Black, recanted his allegiance when he later became a Supreme Court justice. From California to New Jersey, voters elected Klan-backed candidates to a variety of statewide and local offices.
You couldn't run for public office in some places unless you had the Klan endorsement and Klan support, because it had this enormous membership and it enjoyed the sympathy of non-members who may not have always condoned the most horrific and brutal acts, but who thought the Klan served a role in helping tamp down these dissident elements in society.
Because the national organization was destroyed by the IRS in 1944, no longer was there any such thing as the Klan. Independent clans formed all around the South, each separate, each autonomous. The South was a site of constant battles over the question of integration. In their attempts to defend the racial caste system, many Klan groups became more militant. Burning a cross, long a sacred ceremony, was increasingly used as the Klan's preferred tactic of terror. The Klan used other time-honored tactics of intimidation, economic boycott, beatings, and murder. It resurrected itself to combat the civil rights movement and launched a violent revolt against the onrushing tide of black equality.
Although efforts to completely destroy the KKK were stymied by corrupt government officials like Eugene Talmadge, Kennedy's attempt was not a failure. He managed to make the Klan cough up $685,000 in owed taxes by going through the Grand Dragon's wastebasket, encouraged more agencies to infiltrate different sections of the Klan by sending agents to go undercover, and gave the authorities an important tool in combating the KKK, charter revocation. Although future espionage missions were never as successful as Kennedy's original mission, they were a step in the right direction. It also raised public's awareness of the Ku Klux Klan through various media outlets and court cases, which finally brought the FBI's focus back to what it had neglected for too long: civil rights cases.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Buildings at a single bound.
Christopher Reeve once said in an interview with Starlog magazine, "A hero is somebody who will make sacrifices for others without expecting a reward." Stetson Kennedy can undoubtedly be considered a hero under that definition. His relentless efforts and with unmatched determination to end the KKK